Hello, everybody. This is Frank with Iron Age News on the South Florida Conservative News Service. It is Thursday, June 12th, around 11:38 at night, because I wanted to get this out. There's already been a lot of lies going on. But as of today, a federal court who has really no standing in the matter, but a federal court ruling as of today by Judge Charles Breyer has blocked the federalization of the California National Guard for use in Los Angeles by President Trump. The order takes effect 12 p.m. on June 13th, stripping federal control over guard forces in California just before the anticipated June 14th protests and riots. And they are going to give them till the 20th to run rampant in Los Angeles, and then the 20th is when they have scheduled a court uh, event. Once again, activist judge out of his jurisdiction, playing with fire, doesn't care. The ruling does not affect active duty federal forces under the president's direct command, which is the 700 Marines that are there and whatever federal law enforcement is also in the city. The president still maintains operational control of the U.S. Marine Corps and can legally reinforce LA with additional Camp Pendleton-based Marines if needed to protect federal property and personnel. The opposition's timing appears designed to engineer an operational vacuum on the ground between June 13th and 19th. Expect the Los Angeles Police Department to be nowhere to be found. Expect emergency services to become less and less. Expect, now that they've got a bit of the lay of the land, that the opposition forces are going to target areas that they know are going to be much softer now that the guards troops are out of the area. It's a lot more for the federal troops to take care of with a lot less people. I'm expecting possibly more Marines. If the president was smart, he'd have to go with that grouping. Okay, so they were using the legal authority of the 10th Amendment. That's what Judge Breyer, is saying, that California has only the governor to deal with, which is not true. This is an insurrection. The Insurrection Act is what's going to be used, and it will come across in court. The optics for this, unless you're a total dimwit or a communist supporter, is that the Democrats care so little about the people of California that are citizens, they would rather burn the city down than allow federal agents to continue to do their job. These are the people we're dealing with. And I had said it at an event last night, and somebody laughed at me. Today, I sent them all the same video. Somebody was talking to some of these shitbags, and they say, no, we're here to burn it all down. We're not here to do anything but burn it all down. And if I sound sensationalist, that's kind of what they're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with now. There is nobody left to talk to on the other side. The people who theoretically were in control of them are not in control of them anymore. Gavin Newsom's going to find that out, much to his, well, I can't say to his chagrin, but I would like him to get in there and let them tear him to pieces, which is what most of the ops are interested in doing. So the June 14th threat window. Widespread coordinated protest activities are planned, especially violence. Public calls for occupation zones and physical blockades around federal targets. Credible intelligence suggests likely targeting of ICE facilities, federal courthouses, and critical infrastructure. All right. A gap that is created by the court order. No federally directed National Guards are available to reinforce Marines or ICE. State-controlled guard likely to be politically restricted from aiding on federal missions. And the LAPD, of course, will sit back with their tail between their legs like the whip dog that they are and allow other people to suffer. This is going to be you thought the 92 riots were bad? This police department should be disbanded after this and change its name. They did this before in Camden, New Jersey. The department was such a piece of garbage. They had to change the name of the department to try to give it any kind of credibility. So what the president has for options here is to maintain the current Marine detachments that are protecting federal targets. deploy additional Marine forces from Camp Pendleton, which he still can do under Article 10. But right now, a judge is out there fighting to try to strip the president of his ability to control the Marines. This is how crazy these judges are. But since we have to play by the rules of respecting the judges, it has to go to a courtroom. It has to be appealed because the Supreme Court will not stand in and do its job, which is to tell them to stop. All right. Honestly, his third option is invoke full Insurrection Act authority, which is almost like martial law. But you know what? That's what they're pushing for. They know that we can't get certain things done. This is a smart group of planners for this. The guys in the street or whatever they are, but the guys that are putting this stuff together know the legal system enough. They know how to game it enough, and they know that they have the full and unwavering support of the Democratic Party behind them, plus all that sweet, sweet U.S. aid money. As there was another case today that came out of another NGO receiving tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. This is not a bunch of poor people. This is a well-funded, trained army in our streets. It has a lot of shitbags in it, of course, but in general, it functions very, very well. It's capable of multiple tasks. It's going to be capable of multiple attacks. I know that we personally sent, if you saw off our site, a thing to the City of Philadelphia Police because we had some good knowledge of what they've done wrong every single time they've had the riot. And it was all facilitated by the Democratic mayor, the Democratic DA, and the Democratic police chief, endangering the lives of citizens of Philadelphia and, everything. And guess who has no interest in seeing it? Fine. It was a long shot, but it'll be I told you so when you're looking at burnt down structures from the 1800s that we can never replace. So this is where everything stands. So strategic risks is going to be this, because like I said, this is a pretty standard sit rep of what's happening. Operational overstretch, that we're going to have the existing Marine detachments risk being overwhelmed without reinforcement. Federal assets could be exposed to siege tactics if the riot momentum builds unchecked from June 14th to 19th, which is the window the judge gave them, which would allow them to take their targets, whatever their targets may be. They have that time period to attack, seize, and either hold or destroy the targets that they want to deal with pretty much just our 700 Marines and that maybe some more after that to try to stop it from happening. The political risk is, of course, anytime we're going to have an overt Marine presence on LA streets, it's going to trigger immediate media backlash, which will be argued as militarization and suppression of protest, which it is not. This is a full-on aggressive militaristic style operation. Let's not kid ourselves. And judicially, a second round of litigation will attempt to block further Marine deployments on the Insurrection Act grounds. In fact, Trump should start to get those guys moving while he can. If you had seen some of the hearing that has just occurred with Pete Hegseth and a number of these Democrats, they don't even bother to call him anything but his last name. They treat him like he's the town drunk and all this kind of stuff. All right. Which is, it's part and parcel for what you get with people who have no self-image and are trying to, live their life through their elected position, as well as enrich themselves and also bring the whole thing down. You got a full plate going on, So this is what you have. I doubt much is going to change tonight. If they were smart, and unfortunately, they're not allowed to really do it at this point. They should have. We should be taking advantage of the night. The U.S. military owns the night. So we should be out there making our moves, finding out where they're sleeping, doing all the bad shit to them, do unto others and then split, as we used to say in the business. So that's it. Have a good night, and let's hope that cooler heads prevail, but I doubt it. And we'll see what goes on for this June 14th folly. That's all. Talk to you later.